All right. I made it just in time. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I think my headshot camera is a little, well, maybe it's okay. Anyway, I had some trouble starting today, but I'm glad you joined me. There's lots of people here. I appreciate it. So if I can operate my left hand correctly. So first of all, I'm a little discombobulated. Sorry about that. My name's Todd Rains. I, along with my wife, run Woodturning Tool Store, and here in my shop in Allen. It fortunately is the coolest day of the month so far, but it's still a little sweaty here in the shop. So I've got a fan running behind me. So we're going to get to turning some oak here pretty quickly. I don't have a lot otherwise prepared. So let's just say hi to a few people. I'm going to show everybody's name. I'm going to try and get get to this turning as quick as I can, so I can show you what I'm up to lately and some of the tools I use and why, and try and get out of the shop as quick as I can, because it's too warm. 2:30 was a bad time for this in August. Anyway, so hope everybody was doing well. So Michael McEwen, thanks for joining. David Perez, Philip Greenwood, Mark, Larry, good to have you all here. Wayne and Martin, Bob, and yes, let's make some shaving. So we'll get to that. Paul Howard from across the pond, along with where did I see? Philip, of course. I mentioned that already. He's across the pond. Roger Carter, Dick Carney. Good to have you all here. Thanks for joining. And my friend Tony's here. Thank you for joining. Not showing a lot of splash here. We'll kind of get through some of that quickly. If you have questions as I go along, please drop them in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or StreamYard or Facebook. That'd be great. Tony's on Lee's on StreamYard. Tony's on Facebook, and the Phoenician Artist is on YouTube. So I'm streaming to 3 places right now. And so glad to have all those join here. So let me get rid of that. So what do I have coming up? So first of all, there's how to get a hold of me. As always, woodturningtoolstore.com. Check that out. Give me an email, contact form, phone call. Happy to talk woodturning. Glenn Boudreau, good to have you here. Thanks. It hasn't been a while since I've seen you, so good to have you here. Cindy does this sort of live stream every 2 weeks, opposite of my every 2 weeks. So every week you'll get one of us, or you might get a sharing session, which we had last week. So I think Cindy is next week. She's I don't know what she's got scheduled, but check her website out. Go sign up on her newsletter, and you'll get notified. Same with mine. Get notified people via newsletter. I'm sure a lot of people got it this morning. So blank page. SWAT is coming up end of the month, so I'll be there getting prepped for that. So I hope to see a lot of my friends there, and should be a good time. If you have not heard of SWAT, it's the Southwest Association of Turners. It's a large symposium. Demonstrations all weekend long, vendor area open all week, 40-some plus vendors, instant gallery, and a lot of free stuff. There's spousal events as well. There is some pen turning and turning tutorials for younger folks. So it's a family affair. Drop on by Waco Convention Center, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Check out the website, swatturners.org, and find out more. Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium is in Loveland, Colorado. It is going to be September 27th to 24th. A bit smaller show, but a lovely bunch of people. We'll be up there as vendors, and We'll have some lovely demonstrations, vendor area, banquet dinner, that kind of stuff. So it's a great place to come visit, and if you're going to go check this one out as well. So Olympics are still on. I think it's the last weekend, maybe no, last 9 days. I think the end of the 18th. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, still watching. So I left this one up, but that is the end of that. So let me, you know what? I got to turn a few things on. So here's the overhead picture. I just got to turn on my motion control. So bear with me as I reach up there and do that. Shake the camera around for you. I told you I didn't get a lot prepared here quickly this morning, for one reason or another. I think mostly because I slept in a bit, and it was there we go. We got control. It was nice to sleep in. It was cool enough last night. We did get a bit of rain, so that was nice. So I have a few things here that we're going to maybe take a look at today. It's all from this burr oak that I've collected from the city of Plano. They had a quadricentennial oak, 400 plus years old, go down. Huge tree. I think it was probably the diameter was at least 6 feet, maybe a bit more. So circumference is whatever that is, 2 pi r. So check that out. Anyway, big tree. It was one of the historical trees. If you go to the historical tree site in Texas, you'll see a picture of it. So the city of Plano put out a call to artists around the area to collect some wood and do something with it. This stuff cracks like the dickens. You can see some checking here on this one. But we'll see how far those go through today. If we get time, we'll get this on the lathe, at least round it out and do something with it. This is going to be an end grain piece. So the end grain is here, going along this way, along the cracks. So we'll hollow out this end, clamp it in this side, and we'll do something with that. So let me just move this down a little the wrong way. A little bit more. Get my head out of the way. So that's that piece. If we get to it, we'll do that. I've pre-turned some platter, small plate blanks, and these are out of quarter sawn wood. So the grain is going straight through it here. It's out of the center pith of the wood. If we look at this guy here, it was from this orientation. So the tree is going around this way, and this is a section of that. And so this was in here somewhere. You can see the grain lines going up and down as the tree would grow. So this is fairly stable. It's moved, but not a whole lot. So I made several blanks of small plates out of this quarter sawn or rift sawn stock. And this one shows it a bit better with the more of the end grain shown here. You can see the straight lines across there of the grain, and then the flat grain on this side and this side. So if we get to a plate, we'll do that today. The third piece I have here is this pre-turned face grain bowl. So the grain is going across this way on this one. If I oriented it with this guy, it would be this way. So not this way. So that is maybe what we're going to start with today. I marked it out. If you can see, I'll zoom in here. And let me see if I've got focus here. And I got to do something here. Bear with me as I kind of get things set up. Since I wasn't set up as quickly as I thought. So that looks pretty. Does that look focused? That doesn't look focused to me. Oh, I know. Hang on. A little fix here. Bear with me a second. I always have to kind of... And let me try it this way. Live view. Oh, okay, that is working today. So let me just do a quick one-shot autofocus here. There we go. All right. So this little guy is, well, since I got the ruler here, we will see it is, I'm going to measure in millimeters because I can get a little bit more accurate there and a little bit more relative. 102 across the long dimension, which is the warped dimension, and across the short dimension it is 94. So we've distorted quite a bit in the drawing. I stuck it on the lathe, and I can get a bowl out of it. You can see the two pencil lines going around, And I am not going to bother fixing the chuck point. I'm just going to slap this in here and turn it as is with this tenon. Not something I recommend, but this is such a small piece, I'm not too worried about it. We're going to get a good grip, and that tenon's going to go away. We're going to end the bowl down here. So normally you'd want to jam chuck this, retrue up this tenon, and then go for it. So turn around and go for it. But it's out a little bit, but I put it in the chuck, and I'm comfortable with it. So we shall see how it goes. Of course, I'll have my safety glasses on in a moment here. So let me just check the chat. You can see that, well, I can't quite see that. I got to go this way. You can see I'm seated up here, but not quite down here. But I will be seated on the bottom side if I tighten it up. Just tighten that down a little bit. So I'm seated here, bit of a gap, but seated on the opposite side, bit of a gap. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere for this small piece. I'm not going to put a lot of force on it. It's already hollowed out for the most part. We're just going to true it up. Let me check the chat and see where I'm at here. Let's see. Greetings. Nick, good to have you here. Nick Bertrand from San Antonio. All right, I think I'm caught up. So Sammy Riddle, good to have you here. A lot of folks I haven't met in person, but met online or through customer contact. So good to have you here. So we'll true up the outside. So let me show you what this looks like. You can see how kind of oval it is and stuff. And so I took my pencil and I just kind of held it there to get that line, and on the inner circumference to get that line. And if we look closely at that, and maybe this one will be a closer look. And I'm just going to zoom that in, so bear with me as oops. There you go. You can see the two pencil lines. I can get a full circle on the other one. It fades off just a little bit right here, but we're going to have that as the maximum diameter. And on the inside, they fade off right about here. So we're going to have a pretty thin bowl when we finish. This is going to be 4.5 millimeters, maybe. Yeah, maybe 4. So less than a 1/4 inch, 3/16, something like that. And then hopefully we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and do that. So for truing up this outside, what do I want to use? This is face grain. So I want to use a bowl gouge. I typically want to cut from this end up here in this direction, from small diameter to large diameter. And I may be able to do that from shear scraping, but I'm going to do most of my cutting this way because it's more comfortable for me. So let's get a choice of tool. It's a small turning, so a small tool. 1/2 inch bowl gouge perhaps, somewhere thereabouts. I'm just pulling my tools up to me here. I've got one. This is actually a 1/2 inch. It's a woodcut tool. It's one of these tools with a replaceable. Let me brighten that up. That seems a little dark, doesn't it? Let me know if you think. Let's see. I'll just update. There we go. That's a bit brighter. All right. So what is it? It's my standard grind, 55-degree nose angle, and a swept back wing in a convex sort of way. So as you can see there, it's if we do this one autofocus is a bit better, so you can kind of get a better shot of that there. So there we go. Let's go back to this one, picture in picture. I got that one up there. That'll show a bit of tool movement. So I've got the tool rest. We've got this locking collar on there that kind of gets me at the right height. I'll be turning at center of my tools level. And so go along. I'm going to shape this, and then I'll shear scrape back this way to get the proper cut. So I'll just double check. tighten the chuck. That is nice and tight. Power on. Now, why am I going in the wrong direction? Mostly because, well, actually, we take a look at this bowl. We've actually got a bit of recurve here, so it's actually cutting from this direction up to the high point, and cutting from this direction up to the high point is the proper way to go. So I'll do the proper way on this cut, but I'll go downhill here, and just because it's more comfortable for me. All right, we're at turning. So I'm at about 1200 thereabouts. We've got a lot of air and space here, so we're going to take it nice and easy. I'm going to see, I'm just about up to that line. Let me put this one in. So just about up to that line there. And if I touch on the rim there, I'm just about solid wood. We'll stop, we'll take a look. And I'm not quite cutting here, so I got a bit more to go. But and I'm cutting all the way around except for that one spot right here. So a little bit more. Presenting my tool at about 45 degrees. And moving slowly into the cut with the edge. That is now cut. That is now cut. So we've got a solid cut all the way around. And I've got a good 1/8 of an inch on either side I got to clear away. So I'm going to keep cutting down this way till I clear all the outer round wood. This bowl, when I turned it green, I turned it to an even wall thickness. So I got to take the same amount all the way down. And one thing I think I'll do is I will take my pencil and just mark up a bit of places where are the high spots. And when I get low enough, I'll see if I've cut through that stuff. So right here, I don't think I've cut through. So that should go away, and this should go away. I do a shear scrape over that. So well, back up to speed, 1500 RPM. I could go faster, but I don't see a need right now. I'm going to be using slow tool movement. So if your tool moves at a slow enough pace, you can cut anything. Stationary wood, you go pretty slow, and you can still cut. So it's like called chiseling or hand planing. So still not quite all the way around. Another 30-second cut up to there. I've got a little cut deep right in here. You can kind of see it on the back side here, but we'll clean that up. I'll go down to the bottom as well. Trying to maintain an even cut all the way down. And let's see if that feels smooth, like it's cut all the way. Looks like it is. Closest place would be right about here. And it's cutting quite well, even going against the grain. I got a bit of torn out grain right here. I'll have that on the opposite side as well. There. But overall, not too bad. I got a little lump right up here I got to get rid of. So that may go into shear scraping. But what I want to do is get a spindle gouge. I didn't bring my big one out, but I've got this one. I need to change or get an adapter. Why am I going to a spindle gouge? I want to get closer down in here. My bowl gouge is a bit wide for that, so I've got a Carter & Son gouge here. I'm putting into one of my adapters. So this is a little 1/2 inch spindle gouge. All right, so now we can get down in here a bit more. My left leg on the other side of the lathe leg, and rub that bevel, lift the handle or rotate the handle till you get it cutting. Down in there. Whoops, that is out of round. Get in there a bit tighter. So I want to get down a little thinner than that to kind of see the shape. I don't have a lot of room in here, so I also need to know where the bottom is. A little depth gauge I made years ago, and so we're plenty clear of that. You've got pretty much the view I have. Maybe not quite that deep. Probably back a little bit because of the way the camera's situated. Probably about there. So we got plenty of depth available. Let's put that back up on the board. We've got the outside clean. I want to do some shear scraping, so we'll get back to the bowl gouge. And I've got enough clearance with, this is one of the things I mentioned last week, and let me go there, is we talked about the shear scraping rest having more vertical room here. One of the things you can do is just raise the tool rest up a little bit, and now you're shear scraping up higher on the bowl, so your handle doesn't have to be down quite as far. So I can shear scrape in here this way and get that wood smoothed out. So then we're touching the bottom bevel here. The bottom, let me put, oops, not that one. Let me go back. Sorry about that. That one in picture. We're touching this bottom bevel. And one thing I'm having an issue with is this banjo handle is getting in my belly. So I move it to the other side. I can get in a little bit closer. So I have a fan behind me, so that's why the shavings are kind of blowing that way. I could and I should hook up my, reaching for my dust collector hose. Bear with me. There it is. Pull that up and turn that on, see if it'll catch anything. I'm using this tool also to kind of take any lumps out I see. I'm going to take out this lump up here that I see. So I'm going to switch hands, go the other way, because we're going from low diameter to high diameter. It's a bit more difficult for a right-handed person to do. I think I may cut it because that might be a little bit easier for me. That's pretty good. It's pretty much got the shape that I'm looking for now. And it's fairly clean. My end grain is cleaned up. Feels smooth. I don't feel much tear out at all. These holes, there's all bug holes, makes it kind of characteristic. Have some character, I guess, is the word. So I'm going to work on the inside now. And, oh, the handle's over here now. We'll get this. I may not take this off the lathe or cut it free from the lathe. We'll get it rounded out. And I may do that later so we can switch to another tool, another project. All right, so we'll do some inside bowl turning. Same sort of idea with bowl turning from on the inside. Let me see, does this one work? Kind of. So on the inside of the bowl, we cut from large diameter to small diameter and on face grain work. So let's go ahead and do that. We go overhead and maybe that in picture. Same sort of thing. There's a lot of air and wood, so what I do need to do is face this off. That'll make it a little bit easier that way, so having that smooth face. Oops, there goes that smooth face. This oak, once it dries, is kind of brittle, chippy hard. So maybe a better approach might be with a scraper of some sort. Possibly. Let's take a look at that. We'll clean up this end here in a bit. I think I've got a cut all the way around. Feels like it, yep. So we've got a nice sort of, I put the wrong thing there. That's what I wanted. We got a nice sort of thickness established, and now we can clean up the rest of it down here. I'll take my gouge in and make another cut, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to switch gouges because I'm just not happy with that one. This is a robust 5/8 gouge. I like it because it's sharp now. That's why, mostly. Sharp gouge will help me get this cut a bit better. So tool all the way folded over so it's facing away from me. Once the tool's got a bevel contact, I'll open the flute a little bit. I'm following the profile with just looking at, see, I'm in the way of that shot. Sorry, folks. I should have switched that around. I have autofocus on this. That's strange. Why do I have? I think I was using the camera for photography. So we've got a good cut all the way around. Before I go deeper, I'm going to clean up this rim with a bit of scraping, and clean up this rim here with just a quick shear cut. Shear cut across the face, across this way. A slight bevel to it. Now for, let's see. Oh, I do have one. Couple of options. So I gotta, whoops, wrong way, folks, sorry. For shear scraping in here is a teardrop cutter to get on this edge. Or we've got a negative rake scraper that can get in there. I haven't handled it yet. It's not in the handle. We can get in on that edge and shear scrape that way. Or negative rake scrape. So, but we'll use this one because I'm used to this tool. And I'm going to shear scrape right in here. I'll put a handle on it. Don't need to for this exercise. All right, let me take a look here. All right, no real questions. Let me know if you got questions, but the reason I chose this one is because it's what I use. I make it, first of all, and make the cutter, make the bar. So I do sell these, but so that's one reason to show you what I sell. But also because I can get any shear angle or negative rake on this cutter that I want. And so when I'm at the bottom, I can have it level. As I come at the side, I can turn that and make it come up the other one. I'm just going to get some light on the subject here. There we go. We got some scan lines going on that light. I wonder if I can change. I can't change that shutter angle. All right. So I'm just going to shear scrape the first couple of first inch or half inch. I'm doing that because it is so thin that I don't really want to do it when I'm all the way down to the bottom of the bowl, when this is going to really scream at me. It's already screaming quite a bit. So that feels pretty good. I got a little lump right kind of close to where that next cut starts. So I'll start to cut there and push my way into this next lip. So set that aside, the scraper. I have my pocket. Oh, it's my phone. All right. Pick up the bowl gouge again, and we'll go back at it. I'm going to switch this to overhead, and that far one. We'll pick up the cut just on the inside. Is that guy in focus? Let me see. This one. That's me going out of focus. There we go. That's not working. Okay, 1 second. Something is amiss. All right, so now that far one is, the picture-in-picture is getting out of focus. Just want to make sure it's in focus here, folks, so bear with me. This is something I do typically before we go live, but because of, yeah, that looks good. Because of things today, I didn't get that done. So, all right, so now we're watching on the inside. Here, I'm going to ride my bevel on where I started. Pick up that cut. I'm looking down at the 430 position of the bowl to see my depth of cut. So as I was cutting, I was looking at this bottom corner here to see the depth of cut. And I'm pretty good. So I think I'm good with the rest of this. I've got a real bug hole knot issue that is quite deep. Right there. Where can you see it? There it is. Right there. So this guy here is a bit of a bug hole. It goes almost all the way through the outside. So there's probably a millimeter or two between that bug hole and where we're going to get right there. So that'll be a bit of a bother. That's what's chattering a lot. For the bottom cut, my bowl gouge won't get around that without hitting the rim. So I can't get that bottom cut anymore. So I switched my bowl gouge from a 55 degree to a 40 degree grind, or even a bottom bowl gouge, which I have here. Let me take this tool off. Should have brought out more handle parts. So this tool has a 40 degree grind on that end and a bottom bowl gouge on this end. So this is probably 70 degrees. This is 40 degrees. And the one I had, no, I don't want the 40 degree one. I want the bottom bowl gouge. The other one I had is 55 degrees. So this might not be able to do it worse than the other one, I guess, if I'm saying that right. I'm not really saying that right. But we're going to get this in the tool with the bottom bowl gouge, 70 degree bevel on here. I didn't get this one. It should be sharp enough. Haven't used it a whole lot. So now we're bottom bowl gouge has a different bevel angle. So I have to get used to how it's going to react and cut. Finding the right sort of angle to get that on the wood. So if we're looking overhead, stop this. This is the tool angle that I'm able to get onto the bottom of the bowl. And right there, and if I zoom that back in, where'd my light go? My light it's getting blocked by the shavings. So right here, I'm on the bottom of the bowl. If I was with my 55-degree gouge, I'd be all the way over here, and 40-degree gouge even further. So that allows you to get inside places a bit easier. I've still got a little bit more to get off the bottom, that real center nub right there. I think I've got a little ridge right here I can see. Probably haven't cut all the way concentric, all the way around. So let me grab that ridge right there. Curve feels nice. So I think that's good to go. And turn that off. That's been annoying for a while. Sorry about that, folks. All right. We've got a little bit of scraping to do just to clean that up. I got the bottom nub down here, so I've got able to reach that at the bottom. And if I move that in there, the shadow kind of holds it away, but I'm able to get under that center. Once I get that center up, I can twist this and come out up this side. So a little bit more speed. Blending all those tool marks. I got to turn that dust collector on again. That feels pretty good. I've got a little bit of a hump in the middle, just a very slight hump, which is okay. I can sand that out. I do have some tool marks up in here that I've got to get rid of, so I may have to hold some pressure out here with my fingers. So I feel a lot of bounce right there, so not quite round in that spot. So just grazing lightly over the surface until that bounce goes away in my tool. That feels better. That a lot of that bumping I was feeling is due to that bug hole. All right, so that is going to be that guy done. Let me take that off the lathe. Like I said, I'll part this off the lathe afterwards. So this tenon really did hold okay. Let me turn that off and zoom this out just a little bit. So I'll be able to put that back on the lathe, sand up the inside and the outside, and then reverse that. And I might even go over these chucks with probably go over a wooden block. And I still got the center point in the bottom. I can turn the bottom off. So that's good. I'm able to salvage this bowl. All right, so that's going through face grain work. How are we doing on time? 20 minutes left. I think since I have this chuck already on here, I may not get to the end grain vessel. We're going to work on this one next. So what grind is on the bottom bowl gouge? So it's about a 70-degree bevel, 65 to 70 degrees. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Actually, this camera does really well with that sort of autofocus stuff. So you can see it's a pretty short grind. It's got a bit of a heel relief bevel on the bottom as well. Not that that's needed. I think it just changed the grind. That's just the remnants of the old grind. And typically, sometimes what I might do is lower this wing a little bit. So I might have an asymmetric grind, have this one come back a ways. What that does is I've got another gouge here that kind of is not used for what I'm bottom bowl gouge, but it gives you the idea of what I'm talking about. So here's a big roughen gouge I've reground with a swept back wing. But having this wing swept back allows me to get some shear cuts, right? So I'm able to shear down the side on the outside of forms with this one. So on the inside, this, if I can find it there, this bevel on the inside of the bowl, where'd I put it? There it is. This is much too big for what I'm doing here, and I would never use this tool inside the bowl, but I get some more light on there. In there, it's going to shear down the side. So when I say I take a 60-degree bevel and I just zoom this in a little bit, wrong way, get some light on the subject, I'm able to kind of get that. If I put an asymmetric grind on this wing back here, then I'm able to get more of a shear cut down that inside. So it's hard to show you here without having it done. So, but about a 65, 70-degree bevel on that bottom bowl gouge. And you may want to sweep back the left wing a little bit to get some shear down the inside. All right, let's carry on with the plate. And are the black areas wormholes? Yes, they are wormholes. Some sort of bug. I have no idea what's in the oak to do that. But the center core of this centennial tree was all rotted out with insect damage and rot. And so that's why I got all these sort of pie sections of wood to work with. But some of the inners of the pie were full of bug holes, but they make an interesting sort of feature. So I'm putting, when I rough turn these, I put a big 4-inch tenon on the back, and then rough turned the profile and the shape, and then put a recess in here. Now this recess, this what do you call it? Quarter sawn wood or rift sawn wood has ovaled just slightly. So if I take one of the thinner ones, if I take this one and I measure across this way, I'm looking at about 63 millimeters. If I go across this way, I'm looking at 61. So it's gone oval slightly, but I can still grip it enough to get another gripping place back here. So that's what I'm doing. It's kind of the same thing as did before. Otherwise, you put them between centers, this side and the other side, and I could probably do that with put the center up and retrue this, but I'm okay with what I got here. It's enough of a recess to grab. So here we're going to make actually instead of a tenon, I'll make a recess here. I have my dividers already set up for this chuck as a recess of 60. Just that's outside. Here's the calipers. Set up for just 60 millimeters, and that'll give me a recess that will fit this guy. So that'll be a good sort of recess, and you can't really see what I'm talking about. So we'll have a recess in the middle. We'll use this difference here as a foot. So we'll have a foot with a recess, and then I'll shape the outside, and we'll finish the bottom side to finish, and then grip it with the recess and finish the inside. So for this, I'm going to use probably a parting tool to start that recess, and then a gouge. I didn't bring it out. I don't have it out here with me. A recess cutting tool that the idea came from Mike P. So I think he got it from, what's the guy out in Georgia? Mark Soleil, maybe. I think that was where it originally from. But it's a dovetail recess cutter that worked quite well for this stuff. So it's a scraper that can cut nice deep dovetails. So what am I looking for first? Losing track here. Let's see. Scott, good to have you here. Thank you for joining. What's that I got? All right. Let me face off this surface first, and then we'll let me do that, and then we'll create the recess. So put the speed all the way down. You can kind of see it's a little out of round. My 55 degree bevel bowl gouge. I'm going to turn it over and take this live center mark away. Flat enough for what I need, which is this. This one's not very sharp. I need to go this way. We'll see if I can get there. So, boy, oh boy, that's a bad shot. Wide. Bit better. Bit close. I keep going the wrong way on that. Sorry, folks. And, yeah, that's good. That's not in focus. Trying to see where I'm at here. That looks a bit better, maybe. Let's see. So marking with this one and registering with this one. And so that's pretty darn close. I have it. And where's my parting tool? There it is. I might need that one. Don't think I'll need this one. Switching tools. I got a parting tool here. And we'll part into that spot. Don't need very much depth here. Just need it to be clean. So I'll get my skew out here in a minute and create a dovetail. Just a little bit of scraping to kind of flatten that bottom a little bit, clean it up. So I've got a Just an old Sorby scraper. I put a little radius on it. Learned this from Al Sturt. He uses it for multiple things, but I just want to get a little bit of scrape on here. Just to clean some of that up. Little 1/4-1/2 skew. We'll get that dovetail created. I got to turn that dust collector on. Yeah, Scott, 2 weeks away. Hopefully you're prepared. Scott will be demonstrating at SWAT. Scott Hampton, check that out. Let me check my diameter here just to maybe a little bit more. One more 1/2 millimeter. A 1/2 millimeter cut here means 1 millimeter in growth in the recess, so be aware of that when you're cutting. .60, that should work. So we got a fairly clean cut there. I'm happy with that. Let me see if that's really in focus. Kind of is. Yep. All right, good. So now let's figure out the rest of this, the outside of the foot and the rim. Go back to my, want this 1/2 inch spindle gouge. We'll use that. Why use this and not the bowl gouge? No reason, but I think I can get tighter into this. I want to leave a fillet here. I can get tighter in with this tool if I want to do that. And what I do need to make sure of is if this foot is flat. It is. I've got a little bit of gap right here and right there, and the high spots are on the outside. So that's, you got both picture in picture there. So that's good both ways. So, but I think it is a bit too, well, maybe it's not too wide. But I'll see how much diameter I have here left, and we'll go there. So I'll just lower my tool rest. This is face grain work, or grain going across this way, so cutting from small diameter to large diameter. That's why I'm going this direction. That felt good. All right. Just check that out. I'm going to use the right wing just to kind of knock down the edge. That's going to make a turn true, so I can kind of see what I'm dealing with. The other side was undulating as it was turning. So now let's figure out our design. And I don't know what I may do. Making a small cove. And then kind of transitioning that into a flowing curve. I don't know if I like that. I think I'll make the whole thing a cove. All right, and then going to take this half-round scraper and scrape down that hill. And smooth that out. So if I zoom that in a little bit, wrong way. What are you doing? Sorry, my camera went kind of crazy on me. I've lost, all right. I've lost a bit of control there. All right, so we got a smooth transition here to there. I don't know that I like it that much, but it's nice and smooth, whatever that is. So, well, let's just leave it like that. Let's say that is done for this exercise. Not the prettiest shape of plate. I've got my 3-pointed tool. I'll put some decoration in here just to show that it was turned. And just kind of round over those a little bit. Ouch. And sanding will get the rest of those. Stop this and turn it around. This would all get sanded and finished. I screwed that up, didn't I? I did. Wrong chuck. Had my caliber set for a different chuck, not this one. All right. I think it's this one. So switch over to this chuck with these smaller jaws. And that goes in. This is a different key. There we go. All right. So now we can make our cuts on the face of the plate. All right, that's a little close for that light. I don't think we need the light down there anymore. Spindle gouge or bowl gouge, whichever works for you. I will cut, I think I'll make this a very small rim. That's kind of a chunky back to it, so we'll cut into it a bit. Dust collector is knocking there, so rather a rude entry for that cut. What we can do here is take this off the chuck and just see how much room we have here. I left this button here to kind of give me a little guesstimate. Is this working? It is. All right. Digital caliper here just to get that tightened off. What is that in? I don't know what that's in. Hang on. Let's go millimeters. 6.5 millimeters. So about 1/4 inch. That's what that 0.25 was. Plenty of meat there. in the recess. So I can't see that. 6.4, 6.2, somewhere in the recess there. All right, so I got a few more millimeters to play with. Digital outside calipers that we carry. All right. Put that back on. And I'm just about done, so we'll finish this off and we'll get out of here for today. So on we go. Just finishing off the inside here. Maybe we'll switch that around and put that one there. I know from this level, I'm 6.5 millimeters to the bottom of the recess. So we can go, that is a bit thin right there, where I got this little bump in the back. So I'll be careful of that. That's 2 millimeters taken off. There's 3 millimeters taken off. Yeah, the thinnest part is right where that bump of that is. So one last clean up with the, again, I use this guy. We're going to cut down this way and just smooth this out. That's going to require spinning in reverse. So we'll reverse the lathe. Before I do that, I've got locking nuts on the, or set screws on the chuck. I could tighten up. I'm not going to for this little light piece. I'm going to make a very light cut. If I was hollowing or something, I would, in reverse, I would definitely set these set screws to lock your chuck to the spindle. But since I'm doing just a very simple sweeping scrape down there, down there, then we'll be okay. Went the wrong way. Want to go in reverse. That's why that wasn't working. There we go. A little bit faster. Dust collection. You could do this with your shear scraper, or your negative rake scraper. Raise my tool rest up just a hair so I can cut on center with this tool. And why am I working on this side? Only because I have easier access with this tool over there. To get it over here, I'd have to be way over like this, which is not comfortable. And so that is the only reason why I would do it that way. But there you go. You got a nice little plate. Maybe not the greatest shape. I'm not with it, but it's a good demo. It gives me a good understanding of how this wood works. and stuff. So that and the pretty grain in there is going to look great if I do make these other ones. So that was a good practice. So I like that a lot. So we didn't get to the end grain blank wherever I put that, but we got, oh, there it is. This one. Let me zoom out a ways here. There we go. A bit too far maybe. But we got a couple of face grain pieces done and a few different tools. So you can do a lot with just a few select tools: bowl gouges, spindle gouge, and a scraper set of some sort. Parting tool helps get that started. To use a negative rake scraper called a skew to do this recess. And so look, I could almost make that a lid if I made that like that. So there's I don't know what it is. It's a thing. It's a thing. There it is. All right. Anyway, I am far too distracted right now to kind of carry on. So I want to say thanks to everybody for joining. I appreciate it. And if I get back here, I got, there we go. That's it for me today. Let me just check the questions and chat. SWAT is 2 weeks away. Yep. Definitely ready. Yeah, I am too. I use a spiraling tool to make a design here. Yes, I do too, Bob. I just didn't bring them out. I'm really liking the carving stand I bought from you. We'll be using it during my SWAT demos. Yeah, great. Scott, that is the Pro Mount carving stand that Scott picked up a little bit ago. We'll have those at SWAT as well. Yeah, so thanks. I appreciate everybody joining. Bit of a hectic one, but I didn't have a lot planned, and it's a little hot, and I'm now stuck with oak sawdust all over me. So everybody stay cool. If you're on the East Coast, hopefully you survive the storms and not too damaged in any way. Best of luck to everybody out there. Thoughts and prayers for anybody that's hurting because of, I don't know what the name of this storm was. I can't remember. Anyway, keep turning. Everybody have a great weekend, and be kind to one another. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.